Hello there. Here we are again. Lots of Elvis fun. Thanks very much for joining me. I do appreciate it. Elvis appreciates it. I don't really know what much more to say about it, you know. Thanks for joining me, and I appreciate it, and Elvis appreciates it. And I hope that whilst you're here for the next hour or so, you have a good time. Because that's what it's all about, really. Plenty of Elvis fun. Elvis, Elvis, Elvis. Oh, yes. So, The Ultimate Elvis Channel by Leon. Hi, Steve. How you doing? Fine, Leon. Great. There's plenty to say, says Anula. Maxine B. My fibromyalgia is playing up. Oh, I know. That's a horrible thing, actually. I've heard many people say it's just... Actually, the word horrible doesn't even cover it. So, yeah. You do have my sympathies. Elvis Nation, hi Brent. Yes, says yes, hit the like button. And the reason why I say hit the like button is because every like is a like for Elvis. So, yeah, that's the way I feel about it. It's not a like for Steve or anything else. It's a like for Elvis. Where's the Elvis mug, Steve? Do you know, I haven't got an Elvis mug tonight, Vincenzo. I've got an Elvis... you can't quite see it because of the way the green screen works, but it's the Sun Studio mug. Maxine B says, "Oh, Steve, not many people understand sufferers or believe sufferers." Yeah, I know. What's that saying when you tell them you have it? Well, you don't look ill. You know, I do feel for people when they look at somebody sometimes and say, well, you don't look ill. Dylan's World, tune into the best live Elvis show on YouTube. Thanks, Dylan, for the super chat. And it's very kind. And it does actually remind me to tell you that you can, if you wish. It's definitely not mandatory. If you do wish, you can donate to the channel, and it'll help me buy coffee. And you can use the super chat as Dylan has just done by using the little, I don't know, is it a pound sign or is it a dollar sign at the bottom of the super chat? Or you can, if you don't want to use Buy Me a Coffee, you can donate to the channel by PayPal. But both of them are 100% secure. Okay, so I kind of got off the track there, but thanks, Dylan. Thanks very, very much. Just clearing the old throat there. Now, what have we got to look forward to? We have got the underrated Elvis song. Somebody has sent me in an underrated Elvis song. I'll come to that later, and I'll tell you how you can join in and do that. And also, we've got a live poll. Thanks, Dylan. This is another Dylan's idea. Thanks, Dylan, for giving me ideas how to do a poll. A very interesting one, so stick with it. A song I wish Elvis had recorded. Photoshop. Actually, it's not a Photoshop this week. It's more of a misidentification. I think I may even have done it a few years ago, and I wanted to just redo it again because it actually does wind me up sometimes when I see this one, people saying it's Elvis when it's not. So not so much a Photoshop. I wish Elvis had sung this song live. That's coming up as well. In other words, we know Elvis sang hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. He recorded hundreds and hundreds of records and songs, but he didn't sing all of them live. So if there's a particular song which you wished he'd sung live, send it in to me, and we're going to cover that as well later. Caption this photo. Yeah, we have a lot of fun with that during the week. We really do. And the person with the most thumbs up gets a shout out. And I do read out other ones. See if I read out yours later on. The topic. Yes, the topic is Elvis trashed my home, ? I'm not saying he did. I'm saying that's a question. And we'll get to that later as well. Now, what else am I doing? Oh, yes, we're going to be doing Fan of the Month winner for last month, March. March is Fan of the Month winner. So if you're in the running for that, again, please stick around because it could be you. There is a moment of sadness, unfortunately, which I have to cover. A great Elvis fan, a great friend of the Elvis community. A lot of us knew him. I'm sure we did. Trevor Sullivan. I was very, very sad to hear during the week that he passed away. Now, Trevor was dealt very, very bad hand when it came to health in his life, and he did have quite a few health issues, but that still doesn't lessen the shock that we all felt when we heard from his mother, posted on his Facebook group, His Truth Is Marching On, his Elvis group, that he had passed away. So I just wanted to mention that, Trevor, rest in peace, and we're all going to miss you, buddy. We really are. So that's Trevor O'Sullivan. Very, very sad to hear that. We're all slowly but surely sort of fading away, aren't we? And it's nearly every month I seem to be sitting here saying goodbye to somebody else from the Elvis world, and it doesn't get any easier every time it happens. So, yeah. Now, Elvis Fan of the Month quiz, 21st of April. And as promised, I think I've done the 1968 television special. And then last week, I believe I did That's the Way It Is. So this week, all the questions are on Elvis on tour. So I don't know what I'm going to do next week, because I've done Aloha from Hawaii as well, I think. But I'll think of something, don't you worry. Or you could send in a topic or an idea for Fan of the Month quiz for 1 week, maybe. What you want me to ask questions on. Now, 6 questions. And question 1. Oh, what colour do you want me to write in Anula? Thank you very much. Super like this channel. Never negativity is practiced here. Negativity is practiced here. Well, I try not to be negative, yes. If a little bit of negativity ever creeps in, just remind me to slap my wrist, will you please? Thanks for the super chat. It's very kind. And $4.99. I'll get a couple of coffees with that. Thanks, Anila. Right, so what colour do you want me to use tonight? I've got red, black, green, and blue. We had green last week in honour of Mark Green. So maybe we should choose between red, blue, and black. Dylan's World says green, my favourite colour. Vincenzo says blue. I'll tell you what. How many blacks are we getting? Blue. We're getting some blues. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for blue. Right. I'm going to write the answers in blue tonight, folks. Here we go. Question number 1 on Elvis on tour. And we're all excited about the Elvis on tour, the footage being released, and it won't be long now. I've got a feeling it won't be long. So here we go. During one of the filmed concerts, which song did Elvis ask JD and the Stamps to sing? There you are. What do you think of that? I've got Dave and Chris in the room doing moderation for me. It actually was a highlight. Even though Elvis didn't sing during that part, it was a highlight. I really do believe it was a highlight, because just to watch Elvis's expressions change throughout the song, Sweet, Sweet Spirit is the answer. Just to watch Elvis's reaction, to me, was a huge highlight in Elvis on tour. Right, so it's that man again, Dylan, and he gets this.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
Yeah, it was his face throughout. I agree with you, Mrs. EAP Elaine. I really do. Very fast off the mark, Dylan. Yes, very fast. He was... Elvis's humility is highlighted during that part of the Hampton Road show. Well said, Leon. Well said. And the smile that crosses his face as the backing singer hits that high note. He just kind of I've seen him do that with the Kathy Westmoreland as well when she's doing the back end and she hits those high notes. I've seen him kind of just smile and shake his head. He so appreciated other people's voices. Yes, Mark, it was a highlight. I do agree. Right, here we go. Well done to Dylan. Get those fingers typing really, really fast, because the next one is the final song in the movie played over the end credits. Who wrote it? Okay, who wrote the song over the ending credits? It was Memories, yes. Okay, now I see people just putting one person's name, but if I'm not mistaken, was there not two writers of this particular song? Do I have to go in and check it? See who wrote it? Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is. It's two names I'm looking for. Yeah, two names. Okay. So what I need to do is because I've taken my eye off the comments, is I need to be told by my moderators who said Billy Strange and Mac Davis. Okay. So Duncan, well done, Duncan. Yeah. A lot of people were just putting Mac Davis, but apparently it is Billy Strange and Mac Davis co-wrote it. So well done, Duncan.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
That was a tricky one, wasn't it? Most people knew Mac Davis, but Susan S. says I screwed up. It's all fun. It's all fun. Now, Elvis spoke a little bit throughout the movie, didn't he? And at one point, Elvis says during the movie, I've never got over what? I've never gotten over what? So, who's going to be the first with the answer on that? Leon, by the looks of it. Well done, Leon. Yeah, stage fright. Yeah. Leon was first. A lot of people are getting there. Shirley Ellis, Ruth Daniel, Brent says Leon. Yeah. Timothy Lee says stage fright. Edwidge. Yeah. Arkansas Davis saying Valvis, but yeah, I think it was Leon as well. I'm going to give it to Leon. Well done, Leon. You get the...
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
Yes. Okay. Another one where you've got to kind of listen out for this. I mean, if there's a person out there now that's watched it as many times as I have, then he hears this quite clearly. But after Bosom of Abraham, Charlie Hodge says, let's take up a collection and get. Yeah. After Bosom of Abraham, Charlie Hodge says, let's take up a collection and get. What does he say they should take a collection for? It's there, and it's in the dialogue. And yes, people are saying it, and it looks like it's Vincenzo that says get a coffee. I will accept some coffee, get a coffee, but it does look like Vincenzo. Yeah, Chris agrees with me as well. That's right. It's quite funny, actually, because they're all laughing, and Charlie says, let's take up a collection and get some coffee. Well done, Vincenzo. Oh, you get this.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
All I'm going to say, Dylan, is you're slipping. Okay. This is this is a question on what order something comes in the movie. After this, what song comes after Polk Salad Annie in the movie? Which song is heard after Polk Salad Annie? There's Timothy Lee. Oh, just as I say, Dylan, you're slipping, it looks like he's the first. Oh, Brian says never been to Spain. Timothy Lee says never been to Spain. No, believe it or not, and it is that man again, Dylan. It's Separate Ways. Yeah. After Polk Salad Annie, it swaps from the concert footage to Elvis in RCA Studio A, rehearsing and pretending to record Separate Ways. But of course, we know now that was almost like a mock recording studio that they filmed after the proper recording studio. So, yeah, it's that man again.
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
I threw down the gauntlet to Dylan, you see, and Dave says, let's all go our separate ways. No, let's not go our separate ways. Let's stay and have a bit of Elvis fun. The world is rough. So as Johnny Cash said in A Boy Named Sue, the world is rough, and if a man's got to take it, he's got to be tough. So the world is rough, so let's just sit here for an hour and have a little bit of Elvis fun. I think that's what we should do. Ginger says, congratulations to everyone that answered right. Yes, I mean, everybody that takes part, well done. It's just a bit of fun. Complete the dialogue. You're going to love this. Oh, that was sarcasm. Okay, Dave. Right, complete this dialogue. Are you ready for this? This is Elvis saying this, obviously. For those of you that can't see, what does he say after that? For those of you that can't see. Hello, Wet Blanket. That's a name I haven't seen for a while. Oh, look at all this. That's another favorite part of the movie when he says, for those of you that can't see, this is an owl. And then the sweets look at him and start cracking up. Yeah, it was Dylan. It was Dylan. Yeah. Okay. Well done, Dylan. This is an owl on his belt. So, Dylan?
Get out of the stables, Grandma. You're too old to be horsing around.
And we will be coming later on. I will be telling you who won the Fan of the Month for March. All right. So, the topic. What will I do? Will I do the topic? Yeah, I'll do the topic, then the poll, actually. Ay. I don't quite know what's going on in the Elvis world at times, and every so often I'll be reading the news, and I mean it's more and more on my phone now, my smartphone or my tablet or something like that. The actual physical papers are obviously not as popular as they used to be. You get all your information now on your handsets and things like that. So this is a story I came across the other day, and I really don't know what to make of it, so I think I'll just throw it over to you. Russ Tamblin, okay, that man there is an American film and television actor and dancer. He began his career as a child actor for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Tamblin appeared in the musical Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, 1954. He subsequently played Norman Page in the drama Peyton Place, 1957, for which he earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. In West Side Story, 1961, he played Riff, the leader of the Jets gang. He served, uncredited, as a choreographer for Elvis in Jailhouse Rock. After discussing his new memoir, Dancing on the Edge, how he and Elvis met while the latter was preparing to shoot his 1957 movie, Jailhouse Rock, the West Side Story star said he allowed Elvis to stay at his house as a quiet getaway while Tamblin was out of town filming a project. While Tamblin, who's now 89, knew that Elvis travelled with a large entourage. Well, I don't think Elvis was travelling with a large entourage in 1957. Was there not just sort of Lamar, Gene, Junior, and that's probably about it, wasn't it? Maybe Red, but I wouldn't really call that a large entourage, but there you are. Maybe they're just taking a little bit of artistic license here. He writes that he definitely was not prepared for the chaos they unleashed on his Malibu property. My house was a total shambles, Tamblin recalls of the scene he returned to. And this is the bit I love. Half-eaten peanut butter and banana sandwiches had been left just about everywhere, even down inside the bed sheets and in the drawers of the bedside tables. Now, I don't know for sure whether Elvis was actually into sort of peanut butter and banana sandwiches in 1957. Maybe he was, or maybe this is just a soundbite. Of course, of the more than 24 glasses I owned, which had been stored in the kitchen cupboard, only 2 remained. Many of the broken shards were strewn all over the floor, along with piles of trash. It was such a mess I had to use a rake to clean up the big stuff before I could even bring in a broom. Okay, but then when he confronted his friend, Elvis was quick to take responsibility. He apologized profusely and admitted things had gotten a little out of hand, says Tamblin. He had his manager, Tom Parker, send me a check to cover the damages. Of course, most of the money went to the owner so I could avoid being evicted. According to Tamblin, before the home trashing incident, Elvis was asked him for some pointers on his dancing in Jailhouse Rock. As the man who would go on to become the king of rock and roll, liked the way I would pop my knees in more dramatically than he could. This would become one of his signature moves, said Tamblin. Elvis was a hard worker and it certainly paid off for him in that film. I thought it was one of his best. Now, what does everybody think of that? Does Elvis in 1957 seem to be the sort of guy that would trash somebody's home that was he was let to use in 1957 whilst Russ was out of town? Does anybody know Russ and can vouch for him on this story? What does everybody think? Does Mrs. EAP says another trash story? Yeah. Gracie G says, geez, that doesn't sound like Elvis. Also, although Elvis ate peanut butter and banana sandwiches all the time. Yeah, I know. To me, it just sounds like, I'm not going to say made up, but it just doesn't sit right with me for some reason. I don't know. And what is going on with the world in general at the moment around Elvis? You've got people writing sort of articles left, right, and centre claiming to be in places where they haven't claimed ever before. Why, after all this time, has Russ Tamblin suddenly come up with this? Or is this an old story that's just been rehashed and I haven't seen it till now? I've missed it till now. We had Leo Sayer, the singer Leo Sayer, saying that Elvis had invited him up to Graceland on the 15th of August. Okay, the day before he went out supposed to have gone out on tour, but of course he died on the 16th. We've got Tommy Steele saying that him and Elvis did a sightseeing trip in London. Okay, again, absolute rubbish, I believe, because at the time Elvis was stationed in Germany and he would not have been allowed that amount of time to go to London and back. And how wasn't he seen? You know what I mean? I really don't know. So I would really, really, really be interested in hearing what you think of this. You can call me, of course. You can get in the queue and you can call me on Discord. You can call me on... You can't actually see Messenger very well there, can you? Because of the shirt. But you can call me on Messenger. You can call me on Instagram or you can call me on WhatsApp. There is the telephone number for WhatsApp. And I do have a couple of callers actually on the line, so I think the best thing I can do is put myself in the call and stand by Dylan actually, and hopefully Dylan will be able to hear us. Hi, Dylan.
Oh, me. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
I'm self-muted then.
Yeah, no, I know, that's all right. I know most weeks it takes a little bit of time for the calls to connect anyway. So how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yes. Thank you very, very much to the poll that I'm going to be doing after your call. I should have done it before your call, really, but we'll do it after Dylan's call, actually. So stand by for that. Do you want to talk about Russ Tamblin or what?
What do I want to talk about? This is a good question. I didn't think about this before I came on. Actually, I want to talk about the poll. Actually.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, the best thing to do then is for me to do the poll. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Everybody, stand by. Okay.
Stand by, beds, everybody.
Yeah. I'm going to show you pictures here, and basically what it is, it's the blue nail suit. Okay, and the first one says original, and the reason why it says original is because it's got the original belt. Then you've got white fireworks, because it's got the white fireworks belt. And then the last one, we couldn't actually find a good picture of the blue nail suit with the blue Miami belt, so you'll have to kind of use your imagination on it. But there is the blue Miami. What is that? Is that a macrame belt or something, is it?
Yeah, it's the macrame belt.
Macrame belt. Okay, so what I've got to do is I've got to put that up on screen now. So which belt do you prefer with the blue nail? The original, the white fireworks, or the blue Miami? So I've actually started that now. Okay, so that'll come up on the screen. Do you want to tell me? Yeah.
Blue Miami.
You think then that the macrame belt went best with it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now don't forget, folks, we're not actually voting for the picture. We're voting for the belt. Which belt you think went best? Is the original belt, the white fireworks belt, or the blue macrame, the blue Miami one? Okay.
People are saying they can't hear me. That's weird.
I can hear you.
Hang on. Let's see. Everybody hear me now?
I can hear you. Okay, I mean, if people can just tell me in the comments, can people hear Dylan? And are you looking at the comments?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the green meter is jumping and everything when you speak. So, and what are people saying now?
No, people saying no, very faint.
Very faint. Right. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I can put you up a little bit if he says I can't.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. You know.
Okay, and do you know what? I'll put you up a little bit there as well. And can people actually? Mark Green. No, still very faint. Low volume on Dylan. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't know what's going on here. Then that's very strange because my meter is when you speak. It's going right up into the green, so I don't know. Okay, so anything else you want to tell me?
Just thank you for putting on a good show every Sunday and give people something to look forward to. Great.
Okay, we're not quite sure why Dylan is. It's somebody. Lily Ramos says Dylan's just being shy. Yeah, it could be that. All right. Okay, radio.
All right.
Talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye. Bye. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Will we try Vincenzo and see if Vincenzo is? How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. But a lot of the people on the chat are saying that Dylan was very, very low. So I don't know.
I could hear Dylan.
Yeah. Okay. Paul is saying not very well. I have earphones on and it's not, and it's very quiet. I'm just wondering how, if people can comment now on can they hear Vincenzo and is he loud enough? Nancy Shank says I can hear you loud and clear, Dylan. Oh, well there you are. It seems to be just in some people's areas.
Yeah.
Duncan says also quieter than normal. Oh, you're also quieter than normal. Okay. All right. Okay. What do you think of Russ Tamblin?
I don't. It doesn't sound like something Elvis would do.
No, it doesn't actually. I agree with you. So you think then that he might have made it up?
Yeah, it sounds like more something. It sounds like something more Kiss would do. Kiss or Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. Now, Susan says that she hears you fine. So yeah, I'm very, very interested. And Chris says nope, still quiet, Vincenzo. But Susan says that he's fine. So I think it might be people's YouTubes. I really don't know. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's just the story just doesn't add up to me for some reason.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay.
I voted for the blue Miami.
Oh, you voted for Blue Miami. Okay, no problem. Thanks for reminding me to ask you that. Cheers. Bye. And we are going to go to Mark. Hiya, Mark.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Now you're coming through really, really loud. So I don't know. Yeah. And Shirley is saying
As well, I can hear him. Okay.
Yeah. It says, somebody's saying Vinny sounds better now. And people can tell me how they can hear Mark as well. But I think it might be a YouTube thing. Manfred Boomer says Steve's voice is, but I can't quite see what he's saying there.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm all right. Yeah. Okay. A bit tired. I've had 2 shows over the weekend, so I'm trying to get a rest today. So yeah.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. We're good. Yeah. I don't believe the story. I think it's probably just trash.
No. Yeah. It does. There's something not quite right, is there?
No. Well, as you know, there's been hundreds of stories that Elvis did this and Elvis did that, and Elvis was here and there, but it's all in the papers, isn't it? You know, paper talk in it, or just it sells a little section of the paper, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you think that's the reason why? I mean, they're starting to sort of make these stories up just to sell papers, and well, not so much sell papers, but to get clickbaits, to get clicks. You know.
Yeah, I suppose so. And with Elvis, because Elvis has had the big resurgence as well. I suppose it's more news, isn't it?
Yeah.
Elvis is more in the limelight, so let's tell a story.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I was flicking through YouTube myself a few nights ago, and I happened to click on a video, an old one of Dee Stanley.
Oh yeah.
As she was on the Geraldo show, Geraldo.
Oh yeah.
He's a nice chap. And I know he's a big Elvis fan, and he covered Elvis's death news straight after he died and did a show. But she was on. I don't know if you remember this, and the panel was quite good because on the panel was JD Sumner and Joe Esposito, and she came on the program. Obviously, she's got paid a lot of money to come on this program, which they said to, and saying that Elvis used to sleep with his mum.
Oh yeah, and that's an old one. That is. That's sickening.
Yeah, and they all said you're doing this because you're bankrupt.
Yeah,
you've got no money.
Yeah.
So again, it's just trying to tell the story. And I watched it all the way through, and I just thought, God, how could you say things like that? And JD Sumner he was electrified on it. If you get a chance to see it, go and see it because it's very, very, very interesting.
Yeah,
it's
right.
A story, yeah. And Joe Esposito was there the same and said, no, so he said, if Elvis was alive now and he could hear you saying that, he wouldn't be very happy. That's all,
Yeah,
it's someone to sell stories, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I will reserve my comments about Dee Stanley because I mean, probably we shouldn't speak ill of the dead, and all that. But it's not nice what some of the things that were said over the years by her.
Yeah, and I've always had my. I've actually met both of the Stanleys and David Stanley, and I don't really like him as a person. And I think he's changed his story about Elvis that many times, and now he's set himself up in Vegas at the registry talking about Elvis, and he's obviously slated the drug scene with Elvis and all this kind of stuff. And his book has not always been the bestseller because of some of the stories he said. But then he comes to one story, and then the next time it's completely changed.
Yeah. I know.
I just think it's all about trying to make them just making money off Elvis all the time.
Well, we know that Elvis became a dollar sign very, very early on, and I think he still continues to be a dollar sign, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, of course, yeah. And I suppose he's in Vegas. I'm sure he's in the actual hotel that Elvis played. He's got some kind of setup there that he just talks each week, and he's got a registry there. So he seems to be still earning a buck off Elvis. In not always the right way, I don't think, because I don't think he's been quite straight on the stories he's told over the years. You go back on some interviews with him, and he's totally trashed Elvis. And then suddenly he's reversing it around. So,
well, I mean, I was just gobsmacked when I read this Russ Tamblin story. Is this an old story, or is this the first time a lot of people have heard this? I mean, I've never come across this before.
No, I've never heard that at all in my life. I recognise the guy, and I know the guy from the film, the West Side Story. I recognise him, but no, haven't heard this, and I don't think that kind of thing would have happened. I don't think I'll be very surprised, if it is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just the belt thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got both of them belts, but I do like the original, but I prefer the fireworks, the one he wore in the movie. Right. Yeah, I just think it goes quite nice with the suit. The first one's nice as well. Yeah, it's hard to pick. I wouldn't have picked the third belt, the Mercury belt, because them belts kind of went with the early suits that Elvis wore in 69.
Yes, the 1969, 1970 ones, yeah.
Yeah. I think
unfortunately, we couldn't find a good photograph of him wearing the macrame belt, the blue Miami belt with the nail suit. Dylan did send me one, but it was very, very, very hard to see, and I says I can't really use that, unfortunately.
I think the bigger the bulker, the more the heavier suits and the more studded suits, you'd have to go with the big belts for them. I think Yeah. The earlier suits were more plainer, and I think it suited them tired of macro belts, like the chain suit and the ladder and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
But I think the stuff he wore in Elvis on tour, you'd have to go with the big tight belts to carry them, I think.
Yeah. So Maxine B says, so what? It's a boring story. Yeah, something just doesn't feel right about it. I mean, that's Elvis wasn't like that. Elvis respected things and respected people. I mean,
he did all through his life, and he was an early lad. Then, well, you wouldn't have thought he'd do that. And if it say if it did happen, it might have been some people he were with, and he weren't even there. But I wouldn't have thought that. So
Yeah, and I mean, even if it had been his entourage, which I mean, Russ says he travelled with a large entourage, but I don't think he had a large entourage then, did he? So
no, we're not back in the 50s, and the only people that really went around with him might have been because this was pre-army, so. The likes, you only see pictures of him hanging around George Clyde, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there was only really George, Gene, Red, Junior, and that was about it. Oh, maybe Lamar some of the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Probably Lamar. Yeah, because you did make Lamar. Yeah. So you're probably only looking about 4 or 5 the maximum, really, aren't you?
Yeah. All right, matey.
So. Yeah. Okay, great show.
Thanks for your call, Mark. As always. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
And without further ado, we by the way, I lifted the volume on the call section there, so you should have been able to have heard Mark okay there. Just let me know in the comments if Mark came through okay. And we're gonna stand by Brent because I want to actually take you off mute and say hi. Hi, Brent. Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Well, we have a lot of vacuums going over here because Riley Keough and her friends just trashed my place last night, and I'm in a bad mood. But
I don't know.
Don't take it and run with it. No, but you know what, Steve? There's a passage in this People magazine article about that with Mr. Tamblin. Now, get this. He recalls of the scene he returned to, half-eaten peanut butter and banana sandwiches. Does that sound like someone who's conflating myth with facts?
Yes, that's exactly what I thought when I read it. I thought there's just something here that just doesn't sit right.
To be the stereotype of Elvis's favorite food there, and I don't even know. Was anybody even aware of that was his favorite sandwich at that time? I don't even know.
Exactly. So why would he mention it? So, I don't know. It just doesn't sit right. And smashed all the glasses and stuff like that. And it just doesn't sound like Elvis at any time. Never mind just 1957.
Oh no, it's pure clickbait 101. And the thing is, I'm sorry. You know what, Steve? Do you ever just get to the point where you're just like, I don't want to be like. Well, maybe I am. I'm like Peter Finch in Network. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it. I'm so sick of what they're doing to this man's memory.
Yeah.
Turner is being more loved in the eyes of history than Elvis is.
Yeah, and that's annoying to say itself, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean.
Yeah, and I think I don't know what it is, and that's why I think like with shows like yours and a lot of the other great channels out there, a lot of people say, why do you feel we all need to do this, And I'm like, well, this is the reason. Because if we just roll over and do nothing, history's just going to have a field day with his reputation. Yeah,
but the thing that really worries me is me and you know that this is rubbish, this story, okay? But what about Joe Soap that just reads that and says, God, did you hear about Elvis, trashing Russ Tamblin's, room? That's what gets me.
There was, oh gosh, I can't remember. I'm getting older, but there was something on Facebook yesterday. Someone posted a total Elvis fallacy. And it was just saddening how so many people just totally bought into it.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, isn't there a saying, the bigger the lie, the more people will believe it?
Yeah, it is. And a lot of people feel that a lie gets more true the more it's told. And I feel like we're the minority voice in that kind of.
Yeah. Well, it's up to us. It's our job, the likes of me and you and Leon and Rick and all the other people to, sort of put the record straight, as straight as we can anyway.
Yeah, it's just... It does feel like it's an uphill climb, and not only us, but I really want to embolden the next generation because we're not getting any younger.
No, that's true.
And I don't know how long we'll all be doing what we're respectively doing. So keep Steve, you're doing a great job with this show, and it's the best thing going on especially on Sundays too.
Thanks very much. Well, I know I'm sure I speak for you as well when I say we will try and keep doing this as long as we possibly can.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Thanks, Brent.
All right, I'll catch you later.
Take care. Bye. Bye.
Right, bye now.
That was Brent from Elvis Nation, and I say it every week. If you haven't yet cottoned on to his wonderful YouTube channel, Elvis Nation, do it now. I'm going to go and I'm going to say Leon, stand by, because I'm going to say hi, Leon. How are you today? And I'm going to say Leon, stand by, because I'm going to say hi, Leon. How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yes, it's great to have you on the show. Oh. No. Oh, it's unfortunately you're breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me?
No. Yeah, you're sort of coming and going, yeah.
It's not happening.
No, it's not happening. I'll come back to you, Leon, if that's okay. I'll come back to you in a few minutes. Okay. And I have another caller, Cam, if you want to stand by. I can say hi, Cam.
How are you, Steve?
Hey, Cam, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear. Great. What do you want to say? Would you want to say something about Russ Tamblin, or do you want to say something about the belts?
On both.
On both. Okay.
Firstly, the Tamblin thing is a crock of hooey, I think.
Yeah.
Just a quick way to get his name out there. I think these days everyone, for some reason in the business, seems to think if they throw Elvis's name into the mix, they'll move to the queue faster.
Yeah, well, you see, he's selling a book. You see,
Yeah,
so
that explains it. That explains it. Then you see,
yeah.
he's going for sales. So no, I don't think there's any truth to that. And with regard to the belt, I went for the original.
Oh, right. Yes. Top left, the original belt. You know, it's the one. It was the one it was designed with. And then the white fireworks. The white fireworks one doesn't look too bad, does it? If I had to say, if I was trying to imagine what the blue Miami one would look like, I just don't think it would suit at all.
Let's be honest, Steve. I think Elvis could have taken a yarn of wool and put it around his hips and still would have looked good with any suit. So
certainly would.
It's always difficult to choose.
Yeah.
But that's my thoughts. I always go original is better. But with anything Elvis, it's hard to choose, Steve. It's like people asking you what's your favorite album.
Yeah. It is. What your favorite song is. It changes nearly every week or every day. Although I must admit, my favorite suit is the peacock, and it still remains my favorite suit. I don't really seem to change from that. So. It's not like the songs or the movies or anything like that.
I'm going to differ with you on that one, Steve. I'm going to go with the chain suit. The chain suit has always had a special place in my heart for some reason.
Yeah, another good one. The early ones were great. The 1969, 1970 ones were great. But there's just something about the peacock. I just can't get around it. It's my favorite suit, and I think it always will be. I don't think it'll ever change for me anyway.
And then obviously we all have to agree the black leather suit in the 68 special. Nothing is topped that, I don't
Oh,
think.
yeah.
Although the jumpsuits came close, but not quite. The black leather suit still looked the best, I think.
I think the gypsy and the totem pole are my least favorite. They're just too gaudy for me. I just don't know what it was. They went a bit crazy for that year or so, didn't they? And then he sort of reined it in again with the rainfall suit and things like that. And the chief wasn't too bad, but there was a couple of crazy ones there mid-70s.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree. The busier they got, it kind of got a bit crazy. It tends to be a bit distractive.
Yeah. Although, it was hard not to just stare and look at Elvis no matter what he was wearing anyway. But I know what you mean. You could have spent so much time looking at the suit. I never had that opportunity to see him live, sadly.
Neither did I. Neither did I. I sure would have loved the chance, though.
Yeah, one of my life's biggest regrets. I never saw him live. All right, Cam. Thanks very, very much for the call. Very, very kind. Nice to speak to you.
Pleasure, mate, and thanks for everything you do for us every week. It gives us something to look forward to. It's nothing better than hanging out with the Elvis family.
Yes, I agree.
You guys.
Yeah, and you're very, very welcome. Cheers, Cam.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bye-bye. Bye. Right, we will try Leon again and say, stand by, Leon. How are you doing?
Hi, Steve. How are you?
Oh, that's much better. I think you were listening through your speakers before, were you?
Yeah, I had my earbuds in, and the microphone on that wasn't working too well. So I got a wee message from Brent there. Get YouTube turned down and just use Discord. Right.
Now, I'll tell you something. Brent is brilliant when it comes to this sort of thing. He's helped me out many times with sort of little things.
He'll never shut up about it.
Yeah, he's my IT manager, my internet technology manager. So how you doing, my friend?
I'm absolutely great. How are you, Steve?
Yeah, brilliant. I hope you're enjoying the show. I enjoy watching your videos. Brilliant channel.
Oh, well, likewise. But you know what? I've just thinking. I've been watching for ages, and I've just never joined in because because my name comes up as the channel. I said this to Brent the other week there. I always felt that it always felt as if it would be a bit self-serving if you're commenting using your own channel name on somebody else's chat, if that makes sense.
No, not at all. No.
Plus, I also wish I'd maybe named it a bit different because yours and I are so similar.
Again, as long as people watch them, I don't care, because it's all for Elvis. I know you feel the same way. It's all for Elvis. So what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the belt first or Russ Tamblin? What do we want to talk about?
Well, it's your show. You tell me.
Did you listen to the part where I was talking about Russ Tamblin saying that Elvis trashed his house? What do you think of that?
Yeah. Well, I don't really want to offer any opinion on the whether or not it happened or not, because, see, to be honest, who really cares if it happened or not?
Yeah.
What really annoys me is that there always seems to be some tin pot celebrity every second week seems to be using Elvis's name just to get a little bit of publicity. But they all do it every. It seems like every couple of months, Tom Jones comes out with another story, or the one you said about Tommy Steele. I mean, that one really gets under my skin.
Oh, it gets on my nerves as well.
Yeah, it does. It does, Steve. You're absolutely right. It does. But I think to be honest, it just shows how relevant Elvis still is after all these years. I think that's the bottom line, and it should be taken as a compliment more than anything else.
Yeah, good point. But I mean, it does show as well that he's still being used as a dollar sign, isn't he? I mean, this Russ Tamblin has got a book to sell, so he thinks that, using that story about Elvis trashing the room is going to help.
Well, yeah, and I think as fans we should take that as a compliment. That's kind of where it ends, though.
Yeah. But it does do harm as well, because now, I mean, is that tarnishing Elvis's image a little bit?
Not really. I don't really think so. I think anybody with half an ounce of sense thinks it's all about the music and nothing else.
Yeah.
As long as Elvis's musical legacy still stands on its own 2 feet, I really don't think that revelations about his personal life or what he did when he wasn't working, I really don't think that matters too much.
Yeah.
That's just the way I look at it.
No, that's a good point. I agree with you. Yeah. Do you want to discuss the belts?
Yeah. Original one for me.
Really? I've got an idea. I think the original is going to win. I haven't seen yet, but I think it's going to win. Yeah,
original one for me. I just think that most of the suits tend to look better with the original belt.
Yeah.
I don't know this because that's the way it was designed to be like that, and I know that lots of them are interchangeable, but that's just the way I see it. I just think that the original one looks good. It really looks good. But each to their own, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I think when he wore the attendance belt with some of the jumpsuits, that looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to put down any other combinations, Steve. It's just simply that I just think that one looks good with that.
It'll be interesting to see what the vote throws up anyway. Okay, Leon, great. Anything else you'd like to discuss?
No, that's it, Steve. Thank you very much for having me on.
Oh no, listen, I'm really glad you finally rung in, and don't leave it so long next time.
No, I promise I won't.
All right, and keep up the good work with your channel.
Okay, mate.
Cheers. All right, all the best.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, so again, if you don't know, it's the ultimate Elvis channel. So he says it's close to mine, but I suppose it doesn't matter as long as people watch these Elvis channels. That's the main thing, because that's what it's all about. It's all about Elvis. Okay, I think that is the end of the calls for this week. I do apologize that you couldn't hear the first caller. I think it was Dylan was a little bit low, but I did kind of lift the volume a little bit, and I'll do a little bit of research during the week to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Right, so let's move on, and we're going to move on to This Day in Elvis History. Don't know who that guy is. Okay, so yes, this day in Elvis history. I'll leave that on there for a little while longer. That's what we're voting on. We're voting on the blue nail suit. Did the original belt, the white fireworks, or the blue Miami macrame belt suit it the best. And now, unfortunately, we couldn't find a really, really good picture of him wearing the blue Miami with the blue nail. So we've kind of had to just use that shot. But I think we're going to kind of go over. I think it's going to be a toss-up between the white fireworks and the original anyway, to be honest. But there you have it. Right, so I'll just take the poll off for a minute and go to this, April the 21st, 1952. I don't normally start this early, do I? 1952. And Elvis worked as an usher at Lowe's State Theatre. And I actually found a photograph of Lowe's State Theatre in Memphis, taken in 1952. Now, unfortunately, it's only the side view. I got plenty of front views, but there on the right of that picture is what Lowe's looked like in 1952. Actually, I remember a story that he actually got fired because he was fighting with, was it another usher or somebody over a girl that worked in the concession stand or something like that? But he was rehired afterwards. So there you have it. Right, that's 1952. 1954, Elvis worked at Crown Electric. Oh yes, yes he did. And it was around about this time no, it wasn't around about this time. Was it January that he went in? 1953, was it January? And he did My Happiness. Anyway, I digress. 1955, Elvis performed at New Boston, Texas High School football field. 1956, I've got some great photographs of this. Elvis performed at the City Auditorium, Houston, Texas. 2 shows, 7 and 9 p.m. When he rolled into town on April the 21st, 1956, he had already become a national figure in the music business. Yes, he had appeared with the Dorsey Brothers and Milton Berle on their national TV shows, and his first single, his RCA single, Heartbreak Hotel, was only 2 weeks away from reaching the #1 spot on Billboard Top 100 Pop Chart. Yes. 1957, we've got Elvis and Yvonne Lime went to church on Easter Sunday. 1958, basic training at Fort Hood for as part of the 2nd Armored Division. He was stationed there for 6 months. 1959, yes, RCA begins a Gold Standard series. A Touch of Gold Volume 1 sold less than 150,000 copies, the lowest sales for any Elvis EP album at that time. These extended play releases are not included as part of Elvis's sales or chart weeks. 1960, we've got Elvis began pre-production on GI Blues. And, you know, I was just thinking there when I was talking to Leon earlier on, he was talking to people on the Discord channel about the Elvis masters that are going to be released and how Kid Galahad is going to be released for the first time in stereo. And he was saying he thinks it might be a little bit of a white lie because the masters on stereo have been lost. And I should have asked him about that while he was on. I might get Leon back on next week and we can discuss that further. 1961. Yes. Here we go. 1961. We've got Elvis was an America's greatest cultural ambassador. Foreign dignitaries often met him, and many of his movies were great for American tourism promotion. Hal Wallace, Indonesia First President Kusuno Sukarno, Elvis and Joan Blackman during Blue Hawaii production. And that's that photograph. And then we move on a little bit further, and we go to 1962. On this day, Elvis Presley had his 17th #1 and his 29th top 10 and his 54th hit in 7 years with Good Luck Charm. The B-side, Anything That's Part of You, was number 31 in the US. 1964, Elvis was made Special Duty Deputy Sheriff of Shelby County, a promotion from Honorary Chief Deputy Sheriff. Good man, Elvis. Okay. We have a few years here where he was making movies. 1965, Hiram Scarum post-production. Clambake production in 1967. Live a Little, Love a Little in 1968. 1973, Elvis flew to Phoenix to begin his new tour the next day. Except for Jerry Sheff, who was replaced by Emory Gordy, all musicians were the same. 1975, I love this. Are you ready for this? Elvis returned to Memphis, where he bought a house for Linda Thompson at 1254 Old Hickory near Graceland. And here is a fairly recent shot of the home. And it is actually, Old Hickory Road is just behind where the new guest house is. So you can just see the proximity of the house that Elvis bought for Linda to Graceland. So she wasn't far away. 1976, we have Elvis performed at the Kemper Arena, Kansas City, Missouri. This was a hastily scheduled 7-day tour. Ronnie Tutt had returned to the band. Some really good photos here. Probably Sean Shaver photos, are they? Okay, that was on this day in 1976. Then we've got 1977. Elvis began his third tour of 1977 at the Coliseum, Greensboro, North Carolina. Elvis was accompanied by Ginger. So that was on this day. Through the years, April the 21st, through the years. Right. So, I think we'll do Photoshop next, but it's not really Photoshop. It's this one. And this is purportedly many times over said to be a photograph of Elvis, but it's not. It's actually Anthony Dion Fay, Barbara Stanwyck's son. And if you actually look at the two side by side, you can see that it's just not Elvis. Dion Anthony Fay Stanwyck, and there is Elvis Presley on the right. So every time you see that Photoshop there, or rather not so much Photoshop as that photo claiming to be Elvis, it's not. It's actually Barbara Stanwyck's adopted son. So I just wanted to show that again, really. I think I've done it before, and I make no sort of excuses for showing it again, because I just I'm still seeing it around as Elvis, and it's not. I'd love for you to sub and ring the bell and turn it black and select all notifications, not just personalized, but all, because then you will get notified every time I go live. And also, as well, if you want to send me in your ideas, like underrated songs, Photoshop, smoking hot photos coming up later on, girls. Songs you wish Elvis had sung live, songs you wish Elvis had sung, but he didn't sing. He didn't record them. Funny caption photos, or you can suggest a topic for discussion. You can email me your suggestions to Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel, or you can send them to me on Facebook, Messenger, or Instagram. Any way that you get in contact with me, you can do that. Now, yes, and funny enough, a song I wish Elvis had recorded is this one. Laurie Gelman sent it in. Thanks very much, Laurie. She's answered my request to send in ideas and so forth, and I would like to hear from other people as well. And it's Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. Now, it's a 1983 song by American singer-songwriter, as I say, Cyndi Lauper, co-written with Bob Hyman, who also provided backing vocals. It was the second single released from her debut album, She's So Unusual, 1983. The track was produced by Rick Chertoff and released as a single in March 1984. The song became Lauper's final #1 hit in the US. The song was written in the album's final stages after Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, She Bop, and All Through the Night had been written or recorded. The writing began from the title, which Lauper had seen in a TV Guide magazine referring to the science fiction film Time After Time. And it's that one. And the movie is it's based on an idea. British author H.G. Wells uses his time machine to pursue Jack the Ripper into the 20th century. So that's whenever you hear that song again, you'll know that Cyndi Lauper was thinking of that movie. It's a good movie, actually, if ever you get a chance to see it. Malcolm McDowell, David Warner, Mary Steenburgen. Yeah, it's a good movie. Time After Time. Time After Time is also a studio album by American singer Eva Cassidy, released in 2000, 4 years after her death in 1996. And it's Eva's version that Laurie prefers. I agree, as the Cyndi Lauper one is more popish, whereas the Eva Cassidy one is acoustic, and I think that is more the way Elvis would have sung it. So I'm going to link the Eva Cassidy version of Time After Time below this video if you're not familiar with it, and you can let me know, do you think Elvis would have done a good job? So yeah, that's I wish Elvis had recorded this week. Right, so we have don't forget, you can still vote on the poll. And the poll is this. Do you like the original belt with the blue nail, the white fireworks belt with the blue nail, or the blue Miami macrame? I know that's not with the blue nail jumpsuit, but use your imagination. I'll leave that open for a few more minutes. I wish Elvis had sung this song live, chosen by me. I chose this one. Angel is a song from the movie Follow That Dream and was released on the soundtrack EP of the same name in April 1962. The song was recorded at RCA Studio B in Nashville on Sunday, July 2nd, 1961, along with the 5 other songs for the movie soundtrack. It took 7 takes to record. It was released as a single. However, this was only in South Africa and Rhodesia in February 1965. In 1965 also, Cliff Richard recorded a cover of the song, which was also released as a single. Now, I've listened to the Cliff Richard version, and it's much faster and doesn't suit the song at all. Elvis's version is much better suited to the material. But of course, you'd expect me to say that anyway, wouldn't you? I also wish Elvis had tackled this song live. I have a vision of him introducing Millie Kirkham during the shows shot for the That's the Way It Is, and saying, Millie sang on a beautiful song called Angel we did for a movie a few years ago, and we'd like to do it for you now. And I can imagine the 2 spotlights, one on Elvis as he sings and the other one on Millie as she adds her beautiful soprano backing every time Elvis sings the word angel. So yeah, I can just see him doing that in 1970 when Millie was there for the shooting of That's the Way It Is. I'll leave a link below for Angel in case there's anybody out there that's not familiar with it. It's a beautiful song, and as I say, it's Cliff Richard's. It's too fast. It's too fast. Right, so let's move on to this. Caption the photo. Ba-dum-bum. Caption the photo, yes. On a Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday sometimes, I put a photo on the community tab on this channel, and I ask you, it's sometimes a funny one, sometimes an odd photo of Elvis, and I ask you to provide a caption and also give a thumbs up to the one you like. And the one that gets the most thumbs up is I give you a shout out, and I'll give that person a shout out in a minute on this channel. But here's a few. See if I read yours out. This is obviously the caption. And somebody has written here, feels like Bob Dylan got stuck on my tongue. I've got to stop sending reply letters to all my fans. This glue is wearing my tongue out. Ooh, is someone cooking fish around here? The words of this song are on the tip of my tongue. Man, this shaving foam doesn't taste half as good as the one I had yesterday. But the one with 21 likes is this one from Mrs. EAP Elaine. Well done. Congratulations, Elaine. And it's simply, my tongue gets tied when I try to speak. Yes. So well done. So we better actually give Elaine a round of applause. As I say, it's just a little bit of fun. You go to the community tab and you leave your comment on the photo, and then look at the other comments that are there, and maybe revisit it throughout the week and see which ones you like and give it a thumbs up. Elaine got 21 thumbs up, so well done, Elaine. Yes, we'll just revisit the poll one more time in case you've only just come in. Which belt do you like with the blue nail suit? The original one, the white fireworks, or the blue Miami? Okay, that's the one we're asking to vote on. And that, by the way, that vote is courtesy of Dylan. Thanks for doing that for me, Dylan, giving me that idea. Very, very good. I'd also like to remind you, if you're still not a member of the Discord channel, there's a link below this video now. You can click on it and it's an invite, and we do Elvis pick of the day, and the one with the most hearts is the winner, and then we total up all the winners, and at the end of the month there's a monthly winner. And then there's also Elvis chat, and there's a YouTube thread as well, announcements, also, yes, off topic as well, in case you want to talk to somebody about something else, but not Elvis. So, yes, please join our Discord channel. We do have a lot of fun on there. A lot of fun. Right, underestimated Elvis songs. Underestimated. I keep calling it underestimated. It's underrated. Sent in to me by April. Thanks very much, April. It's Where Did They Go, Lord? Yes. Adapted from Dallas Frazier's original version. His co-writer was Arthur Owens. It was recorded by Elvis on September the 22nd, 1970 at RCA's Studio B, Nashville. A day late and in a terrible mood, Elvis arrived at the studio at 7 p.m. The entire evening, Elvis tried to speed things up, and in 6 hours' time, they recorded both sides of a single. They also completed the 2 songs left to complete the country album, those being Snowbird and Whole Lot of Shaking Going On. Due to his absence, James Burton was replaced by Eddie Hinton on lead guitar. Where Did They Go, Lord? First appeared in 1971 as a B-side to Elvis's recording of Rags to Riches. It was first released on LP on the 1978 compilation album He Walks Beside Me. Remember that one? Great album, actually. April told me the emotion and his vocals are otherworldly. So that's the one that April thinks is underrated. It's Where Did They Go, Lord? Again, I will put a link there for you to suss it out if you want to, if you're not familiar with it. So, where are we? We are going to do the Smoking Hot in a second, okay? But I just want to tidy up the poll, and I'm going to see... Right. Yes, no shocks here, really. It's exactly as I thought it would turn out. The original, 55%. The white fireworks, 20%. And the blue Miami, 26%. Actually, I thought it would be the other way around, actually. There you are. What do you think of that? Let me go back and just make double sure that that's what I'm seeing. Yes. Original belt 55%, blue Miami 25%, and white fireworks 19%. It's changed since I closed the poll. I would have voted for the original as well, actually. Let me just go down and show that again. There it is. So 55% of people voted for the original belt to go with the blue nail. 25 the blue Miami. And then the white fireworks got 19. I'm surprised the blue Miami got so much, as it's hard to kind of visualize what the blue Miami would have looked like with the blue nail. But there you are. Well done, everybody. And thanks for everybody that voted on the poll. Very, very good and very nice of you to do so. We're going to we're going to tell you who the fan of the month for March is in a second, but I can't leave you hanging any longer. Yeah. Mrs. EAP is saying, smoking hot. Don't forget smoking hot. Right, here we go. This is it. It has to be an army one. And I've got a topless one for you next week, girls. Okay? Just to let you know in advance. Okay? So tune in next week for the topless Elvis Smoking Hot. I picked it yesterday, but it was too late to use it for this week. How much longer is this going to go on for, ladies? Oh, that's it. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, so, as I said, topless one next week, girls. I picked it today, but I'd already picked that one, and I didn't really want to change it. So, you'll be thinking, which one is it? Which one is it? Love that photo, Steve. Wish we knew what he was thinking. Yeah, he kind of looks sort of distant, doesn't he? Ladies be ravenous. Yes, that's right. Elvis Nation, Brent. Yeah, if they're ravenous now, wait till they see the one next week. Yeah, lovely pic of Elvis. Shame someone's nose is in the way of his ear. Yeah, I see what you mean. Or it's just, it's a person's forehead or glasses or something, isn't it? But yeah, it's blocking it. Yeah. Yeah. Rebel Vegan says he's tasty. And Chris says, ooh, topless. Yes, you're going to like it. But I'll keep teasing you throughout the week. Don't forget, ladies, to tune in next Sunday or this Sunday for Topless Elvis. Oh, thanks very much to everybody who joined me. I'm going to tell you now who the fan of the month was for March. And the callers, thanks, great callers. Shirley says, you're teasing us, Steve. Naughty. Yes, I am. And I will continue to tease you now for a week. Sorry you couldn't hear. No, not in the shower, Marie, Mrs. EAP, Elaine. Sorry, Dylan was a little bit low to start with. I will check that out through the week and see if I can find out why that was happening. Maria Welsh says, stop teasing, Steve. Well, I can tease you for the whole week now. I've got you on the hook. Now, the winner of Fan of the Month. It's actually no surprises because anybody that was watching the shows through March knew that Dylan Bowen was just on fire last month. He really was. So, we he's the winner for March. Congratulations, Dylan. And you and I will have to decide what I can send you as a prize. So, yes. And, of course, we better... No better man to receive the applause. Well done, Dylan. And with that, I must say that I pressed the wrong button. Thanks very much. It's been my pleasure. And as I say, thanks again to Chris and Dave for moderating. And thanks to all the callers. As always, you make the show. So if you want to call in, please do call in next week and we can talk Elvis. Nice for Leon to come on for the first time. And Al, you've got to do it, baby.
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.